Hi, Josh Wojciechowski here with the Culinary Guide for Men. Today we're going to be making chicken tortilla soup. This is a really easy, simple soup that you can make with stuff that you have in your pantry and in your fridge, as long as you keep a well-stocked pantry and you keep vegetables in your fridge. Before we start, we want to get our mise en place together, which basically means all the ingredients we need to prepare the dish. So that includes a cup of each red bell pepper, small diced, green bell pepper, small diced, corn fresh corn that's been taken off the ear of corn, 1 cup of finely diced Spanish or yellow onion, 3 to 4 cloves of minced garlic. We have about a pound of chicken. You can use chicken tenders or you can use chicken breasts. We have 2 cans of black beans. We have 1 can of crushed tomatoes. We have 1 can of diced fire roasted tomatoes, olive oil, salt and pepper, a quart of unsalted chicken broth, 2 cups of water, and we have stuff to garnish. We have Monterey Jack cheese, manchego if you like that, fresh cilantro, sour cream, and some fresh scallions. Now, the first step to preparing this is you need to prepare a spice mixture which is going to go over the chicken. So in that spice mixture, depending on how hot you like it, I used 3 teaspoons of chili powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, and 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. That's a very classic Mexican south of the border seasoning. You can use it for tacos as well. So first thing we're going to do is pour this whole spice mixture over the chicken like this. This mixture in this chicken is very key to flavoring the dish. So you want it to be, you have to make sure it's well seasoned. Now you're going to just, liberally put olive oil in there, maybe about 2 tablespoons. You're going to take some fresh ground pepper like this. Just, maybe 6 turns of the pepper mill. Then you're going to take some fresh pepper, or some fresh kosher salt or sea salt. This has to be well flavored. If you don't season chicken, it doesn't really, with salt and pepper, it tends not to taste like anything. So the next thing you want to do is take your hands like so, and just really work in the spices like this. You want to just make sure that you get every inch of the chicken covered like this. Okay. Then you're going to lay it out on a baking sheet. You're going to throw it in the oven for about 20 minutes. And while this is cooking, you can actually start your soup, because this will be added on later to the soup. Hi, Josh Wojciechowski here, Culinary Guide for Men. So we're making chicken tortilla soup, and right now we have our well-seasoned chicken in the oven roasting away. It should be maybe another 15 minutes or so. But in the meantime, you want to actually start making the soup. So the first step is to get the pan really hot. Never put anything into a cold pan or you'll end up with bad results. So the pan's pretty hot now. You want the pan to hold at least 1 gallon of liquid, because we're actually making anywhere from like a ½ gallon to a little more than a ½ gallon. And so if you don't have the right size pot, you throw everything in there and it starts to simmer, it's going to just come all out. So we're going to add some fresh olive oil to the pan like so, maybe a couple tablespoons. And what we're going to do is right now we're going to be taking all of the aromatic ingredients and we're going to be sweating them, sauteing them, along with another mixture of spices. In here I have 2 teaspoons of chili powder, a teaspoon of cumin, ground cumin, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. This is sort of the basis of the spice flavoring for the soup. So we're going to add the onion, 1 cup of onion. We're going to add 1 cup of small diced red pepper. We're going to add 1 cup of diced green pepper. We're going to add about 1 cup of corn. It's probably about two ears of corn. We're going to add about 4 cloves of minced garlic. And then we're going to add our spice mixture like so. Now, these particular spices are what they call fat soluble, meaning that they break down in fat. And so it's really key to actually cook them with the fat because it'll help enhance the flavors. So this is going to take a couple of minutes here. I'm just going to add a touch more olive oil here, like so. And you want to actually season in stages because it's really the best way to make sure that the vegetables, so maybe about 3 pinches of salt, 3 to 4, maybe actually 5 or 6 grinds of pepper. We're just going to stir this up like so. And we're just going to cook this for another couple of minutes. Okay, so we have our vegetables that have been cooking for about 3 minutes or so. We're now going to add 3 tablespoons of tomato paste to this mixture. You're adding it now because this is how we're going to really get a lot of flavor in here. Whenever you get tomato paste and you get it in with like oil and vegetables and you cook it and it starts to brown, that's called caramelization. And that helps to really develop the flavor of anything, be it, you know, a sauce, you know, like tomato sauce, or even if you're making like a, you know, like a beef sauce, or you know, like a chicken jus or some other type of sauce. So we're gonna cook this out here for like another minute or so. You should really start to smell it. It should really start to be very. It should have this like smoky, earthy, chili type flavor to it. Okay. Now we're going to add our. We're going to add our whole can of crushed tomatoes to this. We're going to add 1 can of fire roasted tomatoes. We're going to add our 2 cans of black beans. We're going to add 1 quart of chicken broth to this. Now, depending upon how thick and chunky you like this soup, you could then go and add another cup to 2 cups of water. For right now, I'm not actually going to add any water at all because I don't like my soup to be too brothy. So, what we're going to do is we're going to add a few, you know, another couple of pinches of salt because you always want to season as you go along. And we're going to bring this to a simmer, and then when the chicken is done, the chicken is going to be shredded and put into the soup. And all told, the soup is going to take about 45 minutes to an hour to cook. Hi, so we're making chicken tortilla soup. The soup's already been cooking for about a half an hour. Now we're going to take out the chicken that we had in the oven before that was coated in the chili powder and cumin and cayenne. That's been cooked fully and then it's been shredded like so. We're now going to add it to the tortilla soup. We're going to add all of it. All told, it's about a pound of chicken. We're going to add it in there. Now, depending upon how thick the soup is, you might want to thin it out now with just a little bit of water. You know, I think I'm just going to add about, this looks like it needs about maybe a half a cup of water just to thin it out a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to stir it through. Now is also a good time to taste it for flavoring because you can add more salt at this point. So we're going to give it a little taste. This needs a smidge bit more salt, so maybe 2 pinches of salt. Give it a stir. We're going to bring it back to a simmer and we're going to let it cook for another 25 or so minutes. And at that point it's done and we can serve it and garnish it. Hi, so our chicken tortilla soup has been cooking on the stove for about an hour. It's not too thick, it's not too watery, it's just the right consistency. But before we plate up, we have a bunch of different garnishes that make chicken tortilla soup what it is. First and foremost, we have the tortillas. If you're into gluten-free, these are actually gluten-free tortilla chips, 100% corn. We have fresh diced plum tomato. We have finely chopped red onion. We have a mixture of manchego and Monterey Jack cheese. We have sliced and chopped green onions or scallions. We have some fresh cilantro, sour cream, and something called pimentone or smoked paprika that gives it a really nice smoky, earthy flavor. So the first step to plating up here is we're going to take a nice pasta bowl or large soup bowl like this, and we're going to take, this is a 4-ounce ladle. We want to give each person about 8 ounces, so that's about 2 scoops, 2 ladles full. Now, you know, maybe add a little bit more broth in here, just to round it out, like so. Now, before you serve it, you want to just make sure that you wipe down the edges. We're going to garnish this with, we're going to take a little bit of fresh red onion, a little bit of fresh tomato like so, some fresh green onion or scallion. We're going to take our manchego cheese, good amount there, just a small little handful. We're going to take, if you want sour cream, you don't have to, we added cheese, so you don't necessarily have to add sour cream, but I'm going to. We're going to take a little bit of, this is very strong stuff, this pimentone, so you want the smallest amount, maybe like, let's say like an eighth of a teaspoon. And then to finish it off, we're going to take some fresh chopped cilantro, rough chop like so. We're going to take this, we're just going to throw this on top like this. And oh, I almost forgot the tortillas. It wouldn't be chicken tortilla soup. So we're going to add a few tortillas around the edges like this. You want the tortillas to kind of melt into the soup. They're just going to kind of fall apart right into the soup like this. And here you have it, fresh chicken tortilla soup. Thank you for being with the Culinary Guide for Men.